This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening, I'm Haley Wilgus.
And I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for being with us. Our top story tonight, a new app that's helping law enforcement agencies here on the Suncoast get the word out about crime.
The app is called Nextdoor. It allows agencies to target specific neighborhoods regarding activities in that area, and it gives residents an opportunity to do the same thing. ABC7's Adam Cellini is joining us live from Manatee County with more. Adam.
Yeah, guys, good evening. I'm in Parrish right now where the communities have really embraced this app. Now, Nextdoor is kind of like a Facebook that's exclusive to your neighborhood. And 6 weeks ago, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office started subscribing so they could communicate directly with places like River Wilderness. And people here and at the Sheriff's Office say it's already making a difference.
I get an email alert through my work email that says something's been updated.
Jan Kaufman has been using the app Nextdoor for more than a year, mostly to stay in touch with neighbors. But recently, the app alerted her to some nearby car break-ins.
They actually had videos of these two kids walking down on both sides of the street, and they were looking in the cars. He opened the door, the kid from across the street came across, they went into the car and they started digging.
The video was posted by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, which can reach nearly 20,000 residents right now immediately through the app. But the real advantage, they say, is pinpointing neighborhoods like Kaufman's who have a special interest.
But if you target somebody, if you tell them you got something going on in your neighborhood, here it is, they're going to pay attention to it. They're going to tell their neighbors, and you're going to get information on that crime.
Sarasota Police Department started using the app in May and have already built strong relationships with communities like Indian Beach Sapphire Shores, where board member Joanne Gannett says it helps spread the word.
You know, a lot of break-ins might be in our neighborhood, but Bayou Oaks is having the same issues. So if you post it and you say, you know, we've got a lot of car break-ins, everybody's notified.
And what's important to law enforcement and people like Kaufman is that the app is starting a conversation about protecting your property.
If somebody wants to break into a neighborhood, whether it's a gated community or not, they're going to get in.
Now, the Sarasota Police Department says they can reach about a little over 2,200 residents right now through the app. And we spoke with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office and the Bradenton Police, who say neither are involved with this specific app, but are both exploring similar social media options for getting the word out about crimes. In Parrish, Adam Cellini, back to you in the studio.
All right, Adam, thank you. The Bradenton Police Department is responding tonight to accusations of racial injustice from the Manatee County branch of the NAACP. The group requested data from the police department regarding traffic stops, written warnings, and officer-involved shootings. After receiving the information, the NAACP said the numbers do not quite add up, leaving thousands of citations unaccounted for. Bradenton Police Chief Melanie Bevan released a statement today explaining the discrepancies. She said the record system's limitations recorded white people in both the Hispanic and white population. Now some are speaking out about that error.
Made me a little uneasy. It sent up an immediate red flag because the numbers just didn't add up.
Police agencies are primarily policing themselves, so it's particularly important to have accurate data because in a circumstance like this where there's a question about the accuracy of the data, it really diminishes people's confidence in the ability of the police to police themselves.
Just hours ago, the department sent revised numbers to the NAACP. The group is now reviewing those numbers and deciding now how to move forward.
The creepy clown craze making national headlines now has some local schools on alert. Although there haven't been any sightings of these so-called creepy clowns on the Suncoast, social media is stirring with concerns among students and school officials. The craze started back in August when children reported clowns trying to lure them into the woods in South Carolina. And then in Pasco County, deputies arrested a 12-year-old boy suspected of making threats disguised as a clown on social media. Last week, administrators with 5 Sarasota County schools sent a robocall to parents, reassuring them that there are no verified threats against any school and encourage them to talk to their children.
We will remain vigilant with regard to our staff's and students' safety. Halloween is approaching and we have an upcoming Spirit Week, so I want to take a moment to be very clear about this. Students are not permitted to wear clown costumes, masks, or makeup to school or any school events. Doing so may place themselves and others in a dangerous and/or confrontational situation.
Riverview High School, Sarasota High, Pineview School, and Brookside Middle School parents all received a version of that phone call.
Matthew has finally moved on, and now 5 states are left with flooding, damaged homes and buildings, and a long recovery. The overall U.S. death toll from the storm is now at least 22. 10 people died in North Carolina, 5 in Florida, 3 in South Carolina, another 3 in Georgia, and 1 in Virginia. The flooding is still a major problem there in North Carolina, the storm dumping more than 3 months worth of rain in just a matter of hours. Rivers are overflowing their banks, bursting at least 2 dams, adding to the already overwhelming damage there. More than 1,400 people have been rescued from the floodwaters, and hundreds more are being saved today. Most are in knee-deep water, while others are on rooftops waiting for boats or helicopters.
Hurricane Matthew is off the map, well into the ocean, but it still is right here. We still have very, very serious issues.
Carolinas are expected to face life-threatening conditions for days because of that flooding. Today, President Obama spoke with the FEMA administrator and his Homeland Security advisor. The White House says the president emphasized that all needed federal resources should be directed to affected states.
Storm victims in Florida may soon get some financial help. Today, Governor Rick Scott activated the Florida Disaster Fund. It provides financial support to Florida's communities in times of disaster. According to the governor's office, the Volunteer Florida Foundation accepts these donations, and 100% of the money raised will go to those in need. Also today, Governor Scott activated Florida's Emergency Bridge Loan Program to support small businesses affected by Hurricane Matthew. The program provides short-term, interest-free loans.
Hurricane gone, and we were left today with just some perfect fall weather.
I think this is the best we've seen in months and months, Bob.
Certainly is months and months. Low humidity this morning. I tell you, I just stood outside for a while, just enjoying it. It's kind of like the Northerners go through a long, hard winter, and they like that first spring day. We're going through a long summer and our first fall day. It was just beautiful out there. As far as Matthew is concerned, it actually brought in some much drier air behind it. It did get caught up with that front. Thankfully, it took off to the northeast into the open waters of the Atlantic. There were some models suggesting it might come back. This is a tropical storm now, and also possibly heading off toward Bermuda and eventually into the open waters of the Atlantic. So no concern with that either at this point. There's still, though, a month and a couple of weeks before the official end of the hurricane season, and it looks like we could have something developing. We'll take a look at that a little bit later, but 84 degrees right now. We have a few clouds around, and the dew point is really quite nice at 59 degrees. Winds out of the east-northeast, not too strong, 14 miles an hour. The pressure 30.08 inches. You can see all that dry air has moved in across the Sun Coast, and that's a result, again, of that north to northeasterly wind flow bringing that drier air our way. Well, more in our forecast coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Bob, thank you. An update now on the Fort Hamer Bridge in Manatee County. Crews are back working on the span after Hurricane Matthew caused a temporary delay. The crews were forced to stop working last Thursday due to the tropical storm watch. Fort Hamer Bridge will connect Lakewood Ranch and Parish and is now just past the halfway mark. 1,100 feet of the bridge still needs to be built. It's set to be complete, though, by next summer. Hurricane Matthew also forced crews to temporarily stop working on the Diverging Diamond project at University Parkway and I-75.
ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us now. And Richard, up arrows all across the board to start the week.
A pretty darn good way to start the week, and I have to confess I was very surprised by the number of people who thought the stock market was closed today. In fact, banks were closed and the bond market was closed, so the stock market was the only game in town, and a good game it was. The Dow was up by 159 points at the high of the day. Didn't finish there, unfortunately, but we did see a very, very strong move out of Boeing, a strong move out of Apple. International stocks were higher, oil moved higher. All in all, a pretty darn good day. Let's take a look at the closing numbers, and in fact, attractive they are. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 89 points, 0.5%, closing at 18,329.25. That on a volume of 687 million shares. The NASDAQ had a good day, up 0.7%, more than 36 points, closing at 5,328.67. That on volume of 1,605 million shares. And nothing wrong with the S&P 500, up 10 points, almost 0.5% at 2,163.66. Well, I know it's only Monday, but this week is going to be probably all about Friday. So what's going on Friday? Earnings, all from major banks across this country. Earnings from Bank of America, Citigroup, J.P. Morgan, and Wells Fargo. How's that for a foursome? All four of them are expected to report their earnings on Friday, And of course, so many financial institutions are impacted by interest rates, whether they do go higher or they don't go higher. Right now, of course, they continue at record lows. So the question is, how are these banks doing over time with interest rates still at record lows? And we'll find that out on Friday. A lot of people think that J.P. Morgan Chase is the leader of the group right now, but that's why we have a market. We'll find out more on Friday, and it'll be an interesting week along the way, I assure you.
Richard, you mentioned Apple earlier. You have some more news on them?
Well, I think they're benefiting from a company by the name of Samsung having a little bit of problem with their Galaxy 7 Note, and a lot of people think that is being turned in and exchanged for, guess what, an iPhone 7. If that's true, that's why Apple's up to $116 a share, the best price we've seen there in quite some time.
Wow. Well, good to see you again, Richard. Welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Still to come in your Suncoast News, the end to the search for a missing 4-year-old girl, where authorities found little Rebecca Lewis safe, and the family friend who is accused of taking her from her home.
And ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast, and it's a good one. Plus, later in Health Smart, Matthew's impact on Zika, if the hurricane will ultimately hurt or help the outbreak in Florida.
What does it mean when New South Window says Factory Direct?
It means we have a factory.
It means we eliminate the middleman.
It means you get an award-winning, energy-efficient window at factory direct pricing.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Replacing your windows will not just beautify your home, but save you big bucks on your energy bills. I've done the research. I've seen the factory. New South Window is my hands-down choice.
New South Window. We manufacture, we install, we guarantee. Call now.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by LuxArt Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little Sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
New developments tonight involving the 4-year-old Central Florida girl who was taken from her home by a family friend.
Police say 4-year-old Rebecca Lewis has been found safe in Tennessee. The man accused of taking her 31-year-old West Wild Hogs is now in custody. Memphis police officials say an employee at a local hospital recognized the two because of the Amber Alert and then called police. When police pulled up to the hospital, they stopped the suspect's car in the parking lot and found the two. Authorities from Florida to Tennessee had been looking for the pair since Saturday morning. Hoggs is a friend of Rebecca's family, but had not seen them in more than 2 years. He was asked to leave the family's home more than 2 years ago after pulling a gun on the family.
A Manatee County man is facing DUI charges after hitting and killing a tow truck driver over the weekend. State troopers have charged Gregory Miller with DUI manslaughter. The accident happened early Sunday morning in the southbound lanes of I-75 in Hillsborough County. Troopers stopped 3 vehicles that were racing. Tow trucks were called to load them. Troopers say Miller failed to move over for the emergency vehicles and trucks and hit Troy McGuire before crashing into another tow truck. McGuire died at the scene.
Sarasota Police Department is inviting families to join them for National Night Out tomorrow. National Night Out is a national campaign recognized by law enforcement all across the country to strengthen relationships between officers and the community. Tomorrow at North Water Park, adults and children can enjoy free food, drinks, and live entertainment. Officers will also have a mini SWAT obstacle course and canine demonstrations. The event runs from 5 to 8 p.m. And what perfect weather for it,
I was going to say,
yeah,
amazing.
What a difference a
Great
week
timing.
makes. You know, last week we were watching what could be a really dangerous storm, and it was, as we saw there earlier with your newscast, but could have been a much worse storm, obviously.
Right.
And I want to remind folks, we still have a month and a couple of weeks left before the official end. There's always a little mini peak, too, later in October. We'll show you that, not this one, but after 5:30. Here's what's going on as far as our latest goes. Lakewood Ranch, you talk about a beautiful day. I don't know about you, but I just kind of stood outside, walked the dog a little bit, you know, a little bit longer on the walk, and it was just so nice to be in the garage, cleaning up a little bit without sweating so much. I'll tell you what, a beautiful shot there at Lakewood Ranch, and as a result of high pressure, which has moved in now across the eastern third of the nation, this high pressure ridge will continue to hold strong. Really, it's pretty much right over the top of the Carolinas right now. It looks like it will continue to build, and we'll see that northeasterly wind flow continue. There's a little frontal system to the west of us. Now, temperatures for lows tonight will be comfortable across the region. We're expecting lows into the mid-60s for the most part. Tomorrow morning, right around 10 o'clock, should be 73, low humidity, and then we'll warm up into the mid-80s for the most part as we move through time. Looks like similar conditions, although a little bit warmer on Wednesday morning. We'll see lows into the upper 60s to low 70s, which is pretty close to average for this time of year. 84 degrees right now, the dew point, nice and comfortable, 59 degrees. And boy, we haven't had that in several months. As Haley said, it hasn't been around for several months since the end of, again, of our spring, really, for the most part. We have sunshine right now, humidity at 43%, winds out of the east, northeast at 14, the pressure 30.08 inches. And that is on the rise. Forecast tomorrow looks delightful, too. We'll start off, as I said, in the 60s and warm into the mid-80s for the most part. We'll eventually see a lot of sunshine around and a few clouds in the afternoon. Temperatures currently across the southeast pretty low, really. Little Rock at 73, Atlanta 76, Charlotte 72 degrees, and Tallahassee now at 80, 84 here in Sarasota. Well, we still have tropics to talk about. Nicole is heading off toward Bermuda now, and the 14th named storm may cause some problems there as a Category 1 hurricane. On top of that, we were talking last week about the possibility of Matthew looping back, but it made enough of a northern move that a front caught it, picked it up, and took it off to the northeast. So the high pressure that was supposed to kind of force it back down never had a chance to because it was gone by then. We are seeing that northeasterly wind flow, which would have brought Matthew back toward the Bahamas by midweek next week. Well, here's the forecast path and track of Nicole, which is a tropical storm now, but we expect it to turn back into a hurricane and then head off toward Bermuda in time by around Thursday, with winds pretty intense, really, if you think about it. And it looks as though it will eventually move off into the open waters of the Atlantic. The next named storm up is Otto. Otto is the next named storm. Now get a look at this. This is where Matthew moved through. Water temperatures prior to Matthew were into the upper 80s to mid to upper 80s, now into the low 80s in places, and 84 degrees now in the just below the Dominican Republic. That's a good sign, but still warm enough for hurricane production. But look at this here in the Northwest Caribbean, 89 degrees just south of Cuba, 87 right there between the Yucatan Peninsula. So temperatures extremely warm still here, a lot of energy here. And then in the Gulf of Mexico, temperatures have cooled a little bit over the northern Gulf, but still warm over the southern Gulf of Mexico. Well, the next named storm, as I mentioned, is Otto. Otto is the next named storm up. We'll see if that plays out. And then Paula, Richard, and Sherry, if we ever get there. Hopefully we won't for this season. Now, as far as our forecast is concerned for boaters tomorrow, looks to be a bit breezy out there. Northeast winds 10 to 15 knots. There'll be a moderate chop in the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now has cooled here anyway, 81 degrees. That's another good sign. And the forecast for beaches tomorrow right around 85 degrees. High tide upcoming 10:13. A low tide will be at 3:35. And the forecast tonight mostly clear, comfortable. Low temperatures into the upper 60s, mid 60s inland, and northeast winds at 10. Tomorrow, just a few afternoon clouds, a beautiful fall day. Highs will be into the mid 80s, and it will be mild. The extended forecast calling for temperatures to stay pretty nice for lows. It will gradually start to get a little bit warmer, though. We're approaching upper 80s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. A slight chance for showers comes back to play Sunday and Monday. But all in all, a pretty good weekend, or a pretty good week, too. I'm already looking forward to the weekend. Some golf out there. Back to you.
I don't blame you. Thank you, Bob. And Suncoast Traffic Watch right now, we're seeing traffic backed up on Fruitville Road. This is in Sarasota in both the east and westbound lanes, a little bit near the interstate, and then also once you get east of 41 and near 301 as well. Haley?
Thank you, Scott. In health news tonight, Hurricane Matthew could help in the fight against the Zika virus in Florida. Initially, after a big storm, there can be a decrease in all mosquitoes. That's because adult mosquitoes, including ones that carry Zika, get washed away by heavy rain. And heavy rains and flooding also wash away larvae from the mosquito breeding sites, including tires and bird baths and flower pots. More good news. This time of year is when mosquito populations typically start to go down. There have been 141 locally transmitted cases of Zika reported in Florida since the end of July. Older people may be diagnosed too often with an underactive thyroid and prescribed thyroid hormones, which can lead to new troubles and expenses. Just 1 to 2% of people have hypothyroidism, which is when your thyroid gland is underactive and requires treatment. But about 15% of people have subclinical hypothyroidism, which is when your hormone levels are between the healthy range and the cutoff for hypothyroidism. According to a study in JAMA Internal Medicine, the popular prescription levothyroxine, which is often prescribed, is under the brand name of Synthroid. It can push certain hormones to a low level and cause side effects. Your ficus may do more than add some greenery to your home. It harbors a lot of bacteria, fungi, and some other microorganisms. In a healthy plant that gets a lot of sunlight and the right amount of water, fungi help the root system extract more nutrients from its surroundings. But if a plant is overwatered or in a room with a lot of moisture, the fungi will produce spores, and those spores can cause allergic reactions. Also in these environments, plants can release chemicals in the form of a gas into the air in your home. Coming up, a rescue during Fleet Week in San Francisco. Good Samaritans rush in to help after a big boat capsizes into the bay. And scale-tipping pumpkins. Farmers compete for thousands of dollars and a world record title at this festival.
ABC7 is proud to present Line Dance Central. Now you can learn popular country and not-so-country line dances from the comfort of your own home. Just visit mysuncoast.com, click on Entertainment, and you'll be kicking up your boots or flip-flops in no time. Brought to you by the White Buffalo Saloon and Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Come experience the precision, performance, and power of the Ram 1500 during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Built tough enough to help you conquer whatever the day may throw your way with all the comfort, gizmos, and gadgets you'll find in a luxury vehicle. And right now, get up to 20% off. That's up to $14,000 off a new Ram 1500. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
Looking for carpet? Look no further. Minnesota Flooring has Smart Strand carpet as low as $1.79 per square foot. Installed, no add-ons or extras. Unbelievable? Minnesota Flooring can have in-stock carpet installed in your home in 48 hours for as low as $1.99 per square foot. Don't miss these prices. Visit Minnesota Flooring today.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPB.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass and Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass and Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Now to a chaotic water rescue in San Francisco. The police are investigating after a pleasure boat capsized into the bay.
A 34-foot-long boat named Khaleesi overturned Saturday afternoon near a pier during the Fleet Week Air Show. 35 invited guests on board were tossed into the bay. Good Samaritans rushed in to help. One man was able to rescue a small child from under the hull of the overturned vessel. 5 adults and 3 kids were sent to the hospital. Charter boat captain Ron Stoltz was first on scene.
Just seeing all the people in the water was, it was devastating to us, and that's when we knew we had to jump into action and throw them all the life-saving gear.
Police are investigating if everyone on board had a required life vest. They're also looking into what caused Khaleesi to capsize and if the boat was over capacity. Police say the boat's owner is cooperating with the investigation.
The aftermath of Hurricane Matthew caused some trouble for a bald eagle. A driver in Jacksonville called 911 after spotting a bald eagle in the grill of a car while at an intersection. The driver then chased down the car to try to alert the driver. Local wildlife officials responded. They rescued that bird. The bald eagle was turned over to the wildlife sanctuary, and it was named Matthew, and it is expected to recover.
Some really big pumpkins are showing up in Half Moon Bay, California for the annual Safeway World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off. Farmers from across the country traveled to the area to compete for the title of the heaviest pumpkin. The Grand Champ winner will go on display at Half Moon Bay Art and Pumpkin Festival. There's even opportunities to win the world title. The pumpkin grower who breaks that record will win $30,000.
One pumpkin tale to another. A Rhode Island man put his son's pumpkin to shame. Look at the size of that one by taking first place in a contest for his giant gourd. Richard Wallace's pumpkin tops the scale at 2,261 pounds. That's compared to his son Ron's gourd at 2,230 pounds. The younger Wallace was the first person in the world to break the 1-ton barrier when he grew a 2,009-pound pumpkin back in 2012. He says the secret to giant pumpkins is the Wallace Organic Wonder Fertilizer. And I hear they take lots of water, too, to get them that big. They do,
to get them that big. And this is a great advertisement for his fertilizer. Because
so.
if you see that, you're like, that works. I'm getting
yeah.
that. Well, still to come in your Suncoast News, personal and political attacks.
What voters think about the fiery second presidential debate and how it could impact the polls. That's next.
If you have a suspicion for harboring prostate cancer, we have a way of diagnosing by using an exquisite instrument called three-dimensional color flow power Doppler ultrasound. Using this system, we can identify abnormalities within the prostate that you could otherwise never detect. The Dotoli Cancer Center is the only center in the southeastern United States which has this technology. If you have prostate cancer, we will find it.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, we make sure you get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2016 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month, complimentary maintenance included. At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Getting older shouldn't mean giving up all the things she loves to do. It should just mean, well, finding new ways to do them. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to provide help with personal care, housekeeping, and of course, meal preparation.
Oh, that smells so good. Oh, and it tastes good too.
We can provide the right care right at home.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting Loose Salon.
Types of timber, cuts of meat, cooking times, temperatures, rubs, seasonings, sauces. You name it, they know it. That's what makes them who they are, Sonny's Pitmasters. And proud of it. Come get some baby back ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. On their own or paired with favorites like jalapeno cheddar hot links or pulled or sliced pork plus 2 sides and bread. Sonny's Barbecue. Local Pitmasters since '68.